move on to the Champions League. I love the Champions League, even though it doesn't have Barcelona in it. The second leg of the Champions League tie between PSG and Bayern Munich. PSG going through eliminating Bayern, who is of course the holders of the competition. Looking back at it now, it's so obvious that Neymar and Mbappe was the difference maker. Mbappe was the difference in the first leg. Neymar was brilliant in the second leg yesterday night. Kind of bring back his best season when he was at Barcelona, isn't it? You can say Bayern create chance with that goal by Choupo-Moting, but I have to say though, as good as Bayern is, it looked like they ran out of ideas though. Like cross after cross after cross. Like for those of you who did not watch the game, if you watch some of the highlights, are just crosses after crosses after crosses. But PSG, was Neymar through the middle, Di Maria creating chances bringing in, and as well as Mbappe was slightly at first gear today. And what I meant by first gear is like he's not into it. I think he doesn't have the chance to. Maybe it's just the pressure is on, but still dangerous, by the way. I mean, after Messi, he is slowly starting to grow on me. It will be interesting very interesting if PSG lands this competition. Who will be in the Ballon d'Or at the end of the year? Will it be him? Still it be Messi or Mbappe or Lewandowski, Neymar? Or with Haaland? We'll never know. And but in the end, over the two games, going back to the discussion, I would have to say Bayern without Lewandowski could have been the difference. Apologies for my commitment level. I didn't get the chance to watch Chelsea versus Porto, with Porto winning 1-0, but I've heard there is a little tussle in the last minute of the game for Taremi, who is looking for penalties. Not going to comment much on that, but I'm still going with Chelsea and Man City in the finals. Although I got one wrong now. I predicted Bayern to go through before the tie. But last week's episode, I did say a Pochettino team, once they have the lead, like they shown against Barca, they keep it tight, and in the end they will eventually go through. Here's the thing, like people say that they played badly in the second leg against Lionel Messi and Barcelona where they drew. It's not that they don't play badly, it's just that they don't need to play well. Sometimes people needs to see from the other aspects of it. Yes, Barcelona was in control in possession, but they already did the job in the first leg, and that's what it is. I think sometimes people needs to, especially these pundits, these professionals saying that PSG play poorly. No, they didn't play poorly. They only play poorly because they give Barcelona the chance to play. And Barcelona was the one trying to chase the game. It's a lot more difficult for you to chase the game rather than you maintaining your level. But in the end, it's still PSG for me, and they are through to the semi-finals. The next match I want to talk about, we go through this one step by step, alright? Real Madrid against Liverpool. I watched the repeat of this match actually this morning. Firstly, it was tough to watch. Real Madrid play very pragmatic and defending. They were brilliant actually in the middle of the park. At the same time, they look great going forward. But I do have to say that challenge by Casemiro on Milner is definitely a red card. And I was looking from afar, especially on the replay. He was actually sprinting while looking at James Milner. So it's a stupid challenge. And how this will haunt them, at this stage of a competition, you are just one yellow card away from missing an important tie. And other than that, I think overall the game was won in Spain. The damage was done in Spain actually, in the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium, the training stadium club might say it. But yeah, Liverpool create chance after chance after chance, but in the end it's still not good enough. And I think it boils down to Real Madrid's experience. I think Real Madrid is a little bit more experienced when it comes to settling the game. And again, man, looking back at it, Real Madrid is in a fantastic form. Liverpool, Barcelona, and then Liverpool again. They lost all three of it. So hats off to him. This season he's been given a lot of stick, but for me personally, in my previous episode, I always said Zidane is one of my favorite managers. I think he has this week he really showed what he can do. He's not just a man motivator. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's good for Real Madrid, and they are through. They will face Chelsea in the semi-finals. Not too sure how that gonna be about. Will it be Stamford Bridge and Di Stefano Stadium again, or is it gonna be Sanchez Pizjuan? I'm not too sure. I think it's gonna be the Stamford Bridge and the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium, because I think they play again when Chelsea playing against Porto. Both are slated to play at the Sanchez Pizjuan Stadium. I think it's due to Porto can't play in the Felipe Dragao Stadium. So like it really is going to matter. Up next, the last one is Dortmund versus Manchester City. The first leg was 2-1. End up at the Signal Iduna Park. It's still 2-1 to Man City. Aggregate is 4-2. I watched this game live on the get-go. Dortmund scored through Bellingham. What a story for him. The youngest Champions League goal scorer. What a finish that was. It was like, what? How did he do that? And it's a quick right foot side foot shot, and Alisson Addison couldn't even. He can reach it just from his fingers. I always felt if Dortmund were to overturn this tie, I must say, as ridiculously as it sounds, they can't be scoring early, because by that time they will give Man City a time to tire you, and this was the result. Man City will nullify and expose you, and once they smell weakness, man, as the game goes through, like Zinchenko was bombing forward all the time, like as if there's no right flanks, but he seems to always go inwards. That's a bit of a problem for me. But anyways, no problem with the penalty. It is a penalty. Emre Can, don't know what the hell was he thinking doing that. And at the moment, my player of the year for this season is got to be Phil Foden. That blast from the corner on the get-go was brilliant, and it's scary to think that he's just 18 years old, but he plays like as if he's 38. You know, he knows when to keep the ball. He knows when to keep it tight, keep it neat. He knows how, his decision-making process are always correct. And in the game of football, your decision-making, like out of 10, if you get 10 correctly, right, more often than not, you're gonna win your team a game. So Phil Foden seems like he's doing this all the time, and it's a nice gesture for him too, scoring, going straight to Guardiola, and I think that's a nice gesture as well. And that goes to shows how much this boy has dedicated his game through Pep. But it's a fantastic goal, by the way, near post finish. I mean, if you were to teach us a schoolboy about how to shoot, you always go for the far post. But man, that was something else. But Man City through to the semi-finals for the first time since 2016 in a mouth-watering tie against PSG, while Real Madrid versus Chelsea. I'm still going with my prediction, which is Man City and Chelsea in the final. I think that there will be a chess battle between Real Madrid and Chelsea, but Man City against PSG, I think, because the thing is, Man City will like to play on a higher defensive line, and I think Guardiola, because over the years we talk about Guardiola failing at Man City in the Champions League because he overthinks too much. I think this time around he doesn't need to, because they know how PSG is going to rely on, right? I think Verratti will be very, very crucial, and Marquinhos as well. But of course, it's very interesting to see how Man City deals with Neymar and Mbappe at this stage of the competition. I think by the time they meet, Man City would have already, this weekend they are facing in the semi-finals against Chelsea. I think one way or the other they can't do the quadruple. It's the difficult thing to do, almost humanly impossible to do. I think if they do it, it will be great. But nonetheless, I think it's gonna be Man City through the final. they are gonna deal. PSG has got to remember that they have to deal with Man City with or without Aguero, with or without striker. They gotta nullify PSG, and I think PSG have to backtrack here and goes like, we can't play our usual game against Man City, and I think that will be their disruption. That they can't play the possession game like they did. They can't play direct as well, because the thing is for me is that Man City is much more balanced. Like, they don't need a Lewandowski to seal the game like Bayern. You know what I mean? So, but going on the other semifinals, I think Real Madrid and Chelsea could be decided on the second leg. I think the first leg is gonna be a draw, and one of the key components of this is Casemiro. He's on one yellow card away, and that could be crucial as well. Chelsea, with their mood right now, they have been very direct. They have been very, very strong in midfield and defense. The linkage between their midfield and defense is brilliant, and I think it's gonna be Chelsea and Man City in the final.